guys, and welcome to another episode of Speak Nerdy to Me with Kaori, myself, and Ann Campea on my left.
What up, everybody?
Yes. And this is the Speak Nerdy for the week of April 7th, 2014. And we are going to drop our favorite newsworthy stuff that we want to share. And they're usually nerdy, geeky, or just basically stuff that we like to talk about. First and foremost, something very shocking happened yesterday, and it was the passing of the Ultimate Warrior. Quite untimely. He passed away in an Arizona hotel. It was very shocking because Wrestlemania just went through, as well as Raw, and he was there at both appearances, and he was also at Access, and a lot of people luckily got to say their goodbyes without knowing that he was going to pass because it was so unexpected. Anne is a huge fan. The moment I found out, I texted her, and she was very, very sad.
I am happy that you were the one that broke the news to me, though. Thank you for that.
Sure.
Yeah, I was totally bummed. For those that know me, I was a big fan, still am a big fan of the Warrior. He even inspired a lot of my costumes this year. So as you can see, I carry him with me always. It's really an eerie feeling to know that we just saw him a few days ago and now he's gone. And I have people online, just reading people's reaction to this. Some people even suspect that it felt like he was saying his own eulogy at Raw the other day.
Yeah, I was actually looking for that right now, but he was saying something about, let me just look for it because I don't want to say anything wrong, but.
Sure. But while you look for it, I just wanted to, say my condolences to his wife and his two daughters that he's leaving behind, and the millions of fans that are going to definitely miss him. I know I read one person's tweet that said him and Macho Man Randy Savage are probably having the most epic battle in heaven right now.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool.
And I was thinking about that. I was thinking, man, we are really losing an era very quick. We've lost Randy Savage. We've lost Ultimate Warrior. We lost Sensational Sherry a while back. And we also lost Paul Bearer. And in addition to a lot of other people. And so wrestling lives on. So their spirit lives on as well. And it's kind of nice to know that Ultimate Warrior got to have his last moment right there. He got into the Hall of Fame.
Yep. He got into the Hall of Fame. He was back on Raw. He delivered one of the best speeches I've heard ever from any wrestler on Raw. It was just so heartwarming, and I know Corey's looking for it. And I still remember that match back in 1990, which kind of set the stage for the Ultimate Warrior when he beat the immortal Hulk Hogan.
That was one of the best matches ever. And
it just changed so much. And we had this match this WrestleMania to unify the belts, and for those that weren't watching back in the day, they unified the belts. Warrior unified the belts and was the ultimate champion at the time, and back in 1990 when he beat Hogan. So not only was the match really well done, but it meant a lot for the sport, for the history of the sport, and a lot of the things that we see today, like I said, the main event at WrestleMania was almost indicative of what happened back in 1990, unifying the belts again this time around. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it just comes as such a shock. But I can't find the speech, so we'll talk a little bit about wrestling.
Yeah,
and
sure.
In the meantime, I'll look for it because it is kind of eerie that he said all that, but it's also nice that he said all that right on time. But it was a very shocking thing for everybody, including his loved ones that were right by him. All right, so moving on to another sad moment, but a very different kind of sad, is WrestleMania 30 came and gone, and it had a lot of things happening, as well as Raw the next day. WrestleMania, the big thing is that the Beast versus the Streak, and the Streak lost.
Yeah.
What a huge shock. Brock Lesnar, out of all people, defeat The Undertaker after 21 WrestleMania wins. I think that was the biggest shocker, not of the night, but in a very, 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 very long time. I can't believe it happened.
Yeah. I think, Corey, I was texting with you. I was on Twitter, letting my feelings loose. And so I think a lot of us fans were just in utter shock. And I think everyone saw that, the crowd, and the one guy in particular. And you probably know who I'm talking about with the white shirt. Just his face alone kind of embodied the way everybody was feeling in it, the way everybody should have looked at that moment. Because 21-1, I mean, really, not even a round number like 25
to
I don't
Brock
know, 24-1,
Lesnar.
and the fact that it's to Brock Lesnar made it even more hard for me to swallow the fact that the streak is now broken by the Beast. It's just insane.
It's so shocking that they gave it to a part-timer, someone who's a little older in wrestling. I always believed that it was going to be someone that amazing, someone that WWE wanted to push so far ahead, or someone that really put a lot of heart into WWE. I'm not saying that Brock Lesnar hasn't, but we just haven't seen him around enough for me to expect him to break that streak. So going into WrestleMania, I think 99% of the population thought, all right, this is going to be obviously a shoo-in. Undertaker is going to win, keep his streak because it's against Brock Lesnar. There was no push or when they were trying to tell each other, like, well, I'm going to beat you, I'm going to beat that. I'm sorry, I'm still in shock with Ultimate Warrior. There was no push for the fight, I mean, for the match even. And yet and even during the match, I was kind of bored, to tell you the truth. It was a very slow-paced match.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, that happened.
If you were able to right the wrong that happened at WrestleMania, who would you give that? Who would you give that win Undertaker's loss to?
That's so hard to say because that is 21 years.
Yeah. And I actually went back after the loss because this is the funny thing. I was 2 seconds away from tweeting and adding Brock Lesnar's name as the 22nd person to have lost, or not 22nd person, but the 22nd loss to Undertaker. So I had everybody's names typed out in a tweet. And when that loss happened, I said, oh, all right, well, this tweet's not going anywhere now because obviously he didn't win. But the fact that you look back at all these names and it spans from what, like WrestleMania 8 or some ridiculous like number, and now we're at 30. The fact that he's been winning for so long, I would have given it to Triple H. I've always thought that match, and I know he fought Triple H 2 or 3 times, but the last one, always thought that match was really epic. They both looked like they worked really hard, and for me, the person that should be deserving of beating Undertaker should be, like Corey was saying, somebody that has shown the effort, has shown kind of perseverance and been with the company and has established themselves just as much as Undertaker has. Somebody of the caliber of Triple H, somebody of the caliber of Stone Cold Steve Austin, something like that. So the fact that it's Brock Lesnar is still shocking to me. And as much as I love Brock, I think it just wasn't the right thing. And the funny thing was, I was reading a lot of people's reactions to it, and some were speculating, this is not the way it was written. Maybe Undertaker was injured and they had to stop the match. The loss was supposed to go, or the win was supposed to go to CM Punk, but CM Punk's not around anymore. Just all of these people trying to set reasons for it. But look, here's the thing. WWE's been doing this for a long time. So I have to believe that this wasn't a fuck up.
I don't think it was either. And I also read rumors that Brock Lesnar did it at his discretion, and the WWE didn't know, and that he will be fired for it. I don't think that's true. I've only heard it from 1 or 2 sources. I don't know how real those sources are. The truth is, there must be something behind it. Shocking, and there are rumors that most people didn't know that this was going to happen, except maybe Undertaker and Brock and a few others.
I mean, the closest thing to a good theory that I believed in was the fact that perhaps Brock and Undertaker are actually friends. And so for Undertaker to choose, you know, if he had a choice and who was going to beat him, perhaps that their relationship outside of the business had something to do with Undertaker being okay with Brock taking that win. I don't know. But I just, you know, you just have to think that WWE's been doing this for so long that it could not have been a mistake.
I don't think it was a mistake either.
Yeah.
You know who else lost his streak at WrestleMania 30? The Miz.
Yeah.
His 4-streak win is now gone.
Damn, he must be so sad.
And he lost it at the Honor the Giant Battle Royale. And for me, that battle looked like a hot mess initially. But the more people started coming out, the more engaged I was in the match. And when you saw Cesaro in there, you knew, all right, it's going to be Cesaro against Big Show. There's no Alex Rusev, like many people speculated. It's going to be Cesaro, the Big Show. Cesaro, again, was like the surprise person to get in there. And I was hoping he'd be for the win, but I thought it would be Big Show. But Cesaro ended up picking him up and throwing him out the ring and getting the win.
That was awesome. Actually, That's funny that you say that the match was kind of, did you say sloppy, or you said it
just looked yeah, sloppy's a good word.
Okay. So for me, it was actually the most exciting match of the evening.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. And I thought that it would not be. My expectations for that match were that this is going to be crap, because every time you throw a million gazillion people in the ring at the same time, like, you get a hot mess. But I actually enjoyed it. It was like seeing another Royal Rumble. And the athleticism in the match was really good. I mean, when Kofi got kicked out and then had his foot on the stairs and was able to survive, I thought that was really cool. There was a lot of cool, moves that were happening, despite the fact that there were so many people in the ring.
Yeah.
And of course, the fact that Cesaro won, I'm sure you're very happy about.
I was very, very happy, and that just cemented the end of the Real Americans. Of course, the pre-show was the tag team title, and the Real Americans were there, and they went up against each other adversely, not on purpose, but obviously on purpose. That's what ended up happening when Cesaro ended up giving Swagger the swing, and Swagger gave him the Patriot lock. I thought that was, this is it. This is the end. And as you know, it was the end. We'll get into Raw in a little bit.
Speaking of Cesaro, I think that there's something that we should share that kind of cool happened to you, unless you want to
bust it in there, because
the love.
Look how amazing this is right here. My man
so awesome.
Says he loves me. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, he kind of does.
Yeah, he kind of does. But he's like, who? Kaori? Who's this crazy chick? Oh, the crazy girl, that Asian girl that always tweets me. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, that was amazing. Yes, I had a fan that went out there, and we're friends as well. And he printed out that paper and had Cesaro hold it at Access, and Access kindly took that picture, and it is going to be up on my wall. So
that is so cool. I don't know the fan, but that's a really cool thing you did there. Very, very nice.
So cool.
Yes.
So thank you. We appreciate that so much. But you mentioned that your favorite match was this one, Battle Royale. Mine, actually, the show stealer for me was John Cena versus Bray Wyatt. I thought that was a very, very solid match. I think they both worked very hard. And I just become more and more of a John Cena fan recently.
Is it because of Divas, what you see how he is outside of?
I don't think so, because we see what he is outside of, you know what I mean? But I think it's because I really see him as a company man. No questions asked. He's there to support the company and everyone as an individual. He helps Bray Wyatt look strong. He even goes on Total Divas to help the Divas accelerate as well. Like, he's a very good company guy. He is the face for a reason. I know a lot of you will disagree with me, and I know a lot of you will agree with me, because he's just that person. But the match was just so good. John Cena versus Bray Wyatt. I really liked that one.
Yeah, I was really impressed. I mean, what were your thoughts overall of the WrestleMania?
I was really excited. The momentum was great from the start, but the moment the streak was broken, it was kind of hard to get back to that level of excitement. It's tragic that the Divas match happened right after. So it's kind of good that AJ kept retained because we don't need any more shock, really. And Daniel Bryan winning, we all wanted that to happen. We all expected that to happen. It was great that happened, but in a way it was kind of like the WWE is punishing us for wanting Daniel Bryan to win by killing that streak. Because we couldn't have been as excited as we should have been for Daniel Bryan, unfortunately, because that streak was so sad.
Well, and considering as how surprised everyone was after the Brock Undertaker match, the last match just seems so predictable that it was boring to me. Because at some point you knew Daniel Bryan was going to win the match. It was just that easy to predict that one. And I know you and I going into WrestleMania both suspected that there would be a lot of relationships tested, a lot of tension between a lot of the groups that were going in there. But we really didn't see much, to be honest with you. Not as much as I would expect for WrestleMania. So the fact that the Brock and Undertaker was the biggest shocker, that's great because it should be a shock to everybody. But I just expected more, especially going into Raw the next day. I thought they were setting up for, because between WrestleMania and SummerSlam, they've got this chunk of time that they could set up these really awesome storylines. And I just was rather disappointed in WrestleMania, rather disappointed in the lack of, I guess, push for some of these more interesting stories. And the number one reason I was disappointed in it was that a lot of the matches were boring. They just weren't athletic to me. I don't know if it's because they put the wrong people together to fight, but besides the Rumble, besides the match Corey talked about, everything else just seemed rather blah to me, unfortunately.
Really? I actually did enjoy WrestleMania 30, and it's going to be quite the memorable one, especially for people that were there live. But also, Raw the next day had a lot of, big things happening as well. We have Cesaro, who officially became a Paul Heyman guy. Swagger broke the Andre the Giant Memorial Trophy that day. So I guess it's so funny that happened. They had this build up for this trophy, and they kept having this promo of this trophy, this beautiful trophy, and then the next day after WrestleMania, it gets destroyed.
That trophy is huge, by the way.
Yeah.
That thing is like almost as tall as he is. That's amazing.
So we've all been waiting for Cesaro to become a Heyman guy, or we've all kind of hoped he would, and he did, and I love that.
I was going to say, how do you feel about that? But
I love
sounds
it.
like you're happy with it.
I'm very, very happy because anyone behind Paul Heyman is just really good, except for Curtis Axel. Not my thing. And then another thing happened on Raw was AJ lost her title to Paige. And Paige is actually the NXT champion. And we've been really anticipating her debut onto Raw. And Emma got there first. And we were like, where's Paige? We want Paige. And she made it. And she just went in there to congratulate AJ for her win. She was saying, I'm going to do something that none of the other divas do, is congratulate you. And AJ was kind of being a bitch about it, right? And she said, you know what, I'm gonna challenge you. I'm gonna challenge you for this Divas champion. And if you pin me or beat me or whatever, you are the Divas champion. And Paige didn't want to do that. She's like, I'm not ready. AJ slaps her, and then the match starts, and Paige pins AJ for the win. So very, very good. Very, very good. What's the word? What's the debut? Yeah. Very good debut for Paige. She's now the Divas champion, and I'm happy about that.
I love it when people eat their own words,
Yeah.
Like, take the belt from me. Okay, I will.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was really good. And hopefully,
it's about time too.
We're going to see more matches against these two in the future. That's my only complaint, was I wish that they had a longer match. It was way too short. Divas matches are always short, but this is the Divas title. This is Paige's debut. It should have been a bit longer, in my humble opinion. And what else happened? Daniel Bryan was there. Yeah. And of course, Ultimate Warrior was there. And I can't find his quote.
Oh, you know what? But go online and read it. It's, you know, it's just, it still is eerie to me.
It is.
He really was speaking his own eulogy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he talked about how, like, I hope that something about my blood running through everybody, and he's had that effect on the fans, and
yeah,
all of the things he was saying is just bizarre. The fact that he passed away, I still can't believe it.
Is this it? I think, right? No WWE. Yep. I'm going to read it to you guys. Okay. So no WWE talent becomes a legend on their own. Every man's heart one day beats its final beat. His lungs breathe a final breath. And if what that man did in his life makes the blood pulse through the body of others and makes them bleed deeper and something larger than life, then his essence, his spirit will be immortalized. By the storytellers, by the loyalty, by the memory of those who honor him and make the running the man did live forever. You are the legend makers of Ultimate Warrior. In the back, I see potential legends, some of them with warrior spirits, and you will do the same for them. You will decide if they live with a passion and intensity, so much so that you will tell your stories and you will make them legends as well. Ultimate. You are the Ultimate Warrior fans, and the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever. Whew. Creepy. Not creepy in a bad way, but eerie is a better word.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. So sad to see him go. All right, so let's move on from wrestling.
Sure.
Let's
movie
talk
news?
about some movie news. Well, Captain America 2 did really good this past weekend. Worldwide, it made 300 million buckaroos.
Wow, I wish I had that much money.
I know. And that's a lot.
Well, what was our over? Well, our over under was for domestic, right? So I think we were both kind of off on our over under. I think it made like 96 million domestically. That's fine though, because it made like 30 million more than the first Captain America did. So
rightfully so, and it's his first weekend too.
Did really well in terms of money.
So go see it if you haven't seen it yet. And there's some news going on that Captain America 3 is going to come out in 2016, May 6th, 2016, which happens to be the same day that DC's Batman Superman movie is going to be released as well. So there's a lot of speculation. Is Marvel pulling a dick move or what? And wondering if maybe one of the studios will budge.
Yeah. It's a pissing contest.
Yeah.
Or let's whip it out and see which is bigger kind of thing going on here. Somebody's going to budge. Who, if you're going to pick which studio is, which one would you think?
I think that's tough. I feel that Marvel spews out a lot more movies, but when the DC movie is coming out, there's a slightly more hype because they don't come out as often or as frequently. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel that unless Captain America 3 is going to be better than the second, they should kind of move. Because Superman versus Batman, come on.
All right, I'm going to challenge you there. I think the DC movie's going to move. I think they've already had, considering all the setbacks they've already had, I wouldn't be surprised if they budged the date too, because Marvel's got their game right and they've got it tight. And I wouldn't see any delays in them holding, true to this date.
Yeah.
They've already got their cast. They already probably know what direction they want to take Cap in. So there's not those unknowns that I feel like DC still has surrounding this Superman Batman movie.
You know what? You have a very good point. I can't argue that. They're not as set in stone.
Yeah.
So
I mean, and there's a lot of pressure on them.
Oh yeah.
Considering how successful Marvel has been and the hype that's already surrounding this Superman Batman movie, I hope they are thinking we'd rather move the date and look kind of silly than put out a crap movie. So if that means moving it by a week or something to make the movie better or to make sure that it's right before it goes out, I wouldn't put it against them to make that kind of move.
I do hope that they don't go to battle on the same day.
Yeah, because which one would you see first?
I would. That's tough. I would probably see the DC one first. It'd probably be a double feature though, same day. But again, I think that's kind of a dick move.
Yeah, I love it.
Move,
I love it though.
I love it too.
It's competition.
Too. Yeah. All right, let's talk about what's next.
The hate of the week.
Okay, so this is our new little segment because Ann and I are secretly haters. We're lovers too, but there's a lot of things that bother us. And this time around, we don't really like Peplum. And if you guys don't know what Peplum is, you must have seen the girls walking around with an extra skirt hanging in front of their skirt or a skirt hanging over their shirt. It just looks terrible. That's like funny. An excuse for girls that didn't feel like working out that day to hide their bellies.
And look, we're not like super buff fit or whatever, but I think it just looks so silly.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. Like the extra material, well, first of all, it doesn't accentuate anything. You're right. It's hiding something.
Yeah. It's not cute.
And it's not sexy.
Yeah, it just like, it looks like a baby doll dress, but it stops at your pelvis.
I mean, and we see the length of the peplum can be like this or this. So it's like a mini skirt or an extra long skirt or however you want to do it. It makes the hips look weird too.
It makes the hips look really weird.
I mean, you guys tell us, especially men. I want to know what men think about this because for us, we'd cringe every time we see it.
Yeah, we're definitely not feeling that peplum.
No.
Ann and I actually make this joke all the time that whenever we feel bloated, or let's bust out the peplum.
Yeah.
You know we don't own anything.
So true. So true. So I think we're both actually very curious as to, are we the only ones that feel this way?
Yeah, because ever since it came out, I was wondering, oh, this is not going to last. But everyone's digging this peplum.
What could you ever be convinced to wear this? Maybe if it says Cesaro on it or something.
Yeah, but then it becomes a flag, right? And another thing that I don't like other than peplum, I'm just going to bring it up because I'm thinking about when you're hiding that midsection, the high-waisted shorts thing. Because that's also another thing that's hiding your belly. It's like, man, like this fashion right now is hiding that belly.
I know, but it's like it's recognizing that a lot of people are very sensitive about that area.
Sure,
but
I am
it's
too.
Like, just be yourself. I don't know, maybe I won't think that tomorrow when I've eaten like 3 pounds of McDonald's, but I'd rather wear sweatpants and a baggy shirt than wear this peplum or those shorts.
So what about high-waisted shorts with peplum? I mean, oof.
That makes me want to throw up.
Oh, man.
No.
So that was our hate of the week.
Yes.
All right. So next we've got AMC's Turn premiered, and it went up against Wrestlemania as well as Game of Thrones, the season 4 premiere. I happen to not have been able to watch it, but it didn't do so well in the ratings. And I don't know if it's because what it was up against, but they're saying that, AMC is really trying to have another great show for viewers to watch. This one didn't do too hot. Hopefully it picks up.
Honestly, I kind of fast forwarded through it.
Oh.
It was 90 minutes. It was a really long
time.
Pilot premiere. It was... Okay, so here's the thing. It's about the Revolutionary War, right? So, of course, it's a historical piece, which they're trying to make intriguing.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that they could make or do to make it feel sexy. But the lead character's job is like a cabbage farmer or something.
How was his acting?
He's not great. So, that's telling as well. I mean, think about like the Arrow pilot. The very first episode of Arrow was was so intriguing. It left you wanting to see more, and it was they didn't have to do big explosions or anything to keep you interested, but there was a story. You were interested in the lead character. I mean, I just didn't get that vibe watching this show, and so it which is interesting because AMC has so many good shows that I wonder if they're getting nervous because, you know, with a lot of their shows ending, what's left.
And even their shows right now, they're not doing as hot as they used to be doing. I know The Walking Dead still doing great, but it's fluctuating in viewership because it's not making as much sense, or it doesn't have as much intensity or as interest as it did in the first 2 seasons, right? Mad Men is coming to an end. Breaking Bad's done, and we miss Breaking Bad so much. We'll see how this one does. I mean, it could potentially be one of those shows where you have to get to like episode 5 and then it's interesting, but they got to do something fast. And it sucks because it's going up against Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
It's even going up against Once Upon a Time if you're a oncer, these shows are solid. All right. So another premiere, obviously Game of Thrones season 4 premiered. Great episode. Of course, it's to be expected, and I'm very happy that it was good. We had a new character. I forgot what his name was now, but he's in there.
The Persian guy.
He's in King's Landing to cause some
Persian
trouble.
looking guy. I don't know if he's actually Persian, but he looked Persian.
Persian-y guy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Handsome. He was handsome.
He was very handsome. Again, a lot of nudity still. Saw Daenerys, and I texted you something. I'm not going to say here.
That's our show. You can say whatever you want.
I love Daenerys. Okay, I love her character. Yeah. She's great. I like her a lot more than I did in the first season. The first season, I was kind of frustrated with her. But sometimes I kind of feel like she's overacts a little. I'm like, dude, you don't need to be yelling. just you don't have to yell to be noble and strong, you know?
Yeah. I get what you're saying. I totally agree with that.
It's like she's on stage in a theater and not in front of a camera. So I feel like she's a very theatrical at times. But I love that scene when she's on the rocks with her dragons. And at one point, the dragon almost bites her accidentally. And her man, I forget, the guy that is head over heels in love with her.
Oh, Jorah?
Yeah. Jorah. He says you can never, ever tame a dragon, even if you are the mother.
Great line.
I think that's foreshadowing a lot more that's happening.
For sure.
Yeah.
Now, did you have a hard time seeing, like, Jaime come back? You know, he's all, like, excited to be back with the guard and to see, what's her name? Cersei?
Yeah, Cersei.
And, he thought things would be back to normal, and then he just gets shit on the whole episode.
I feel really bad for him.
Because I grew an attachment to him in season 3, seeing his journey and seeing him kind of see himself.
He's getting increasingly handsome, too.
That, too. They chopped off his hair and cleaned him up. And yeah.
Have you, do you know anything about the books about him?
No.
Okay, I'm not going to say anything then. I don't want to give it away. So, no, I won't say anything. But all I'm going to say is you will love Jaime Lannister.
Oh, good. Okay.
You will love him.
So, for those of you that don't know, I actually marathoned seasons 2 and 3 like in a week. So, my intention was to, once I finish and I'm caught up, was to start getting into the books. So, I'll be there with you.
Yeah.
I'll catch up. But I also, I think everyone right now is saying Hail Hydra is the new meme on the internet or whatever. But I think Hail Arya should be one of those memes too, because I love her.
She's so badass.
She's so cool. She got her needle.
She scares me.
Yeah.
And she's like 12 or something.
Yeah.
Ridiculously young.
She's cool.
Everyone's back to their old ways, but better. Were you a little grossed out when Jaime and Cersei Jaime was trying to get some nookie from his sister?
Of course. Of course. I mean, but the good thing is, there's nothing good about incest. I don't know, maybe you guys like incest or not, but
up to you. We don't judge.
It's not a surprise because this relationship they've talked about since the beginning. So it's not like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he's trying to hook up with his sister. At least we know about it. We've been acclimated to it. We just haven't actually seen them together until now.
Would you agree with her with how she was pissed off that he left her? I felt like, man, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Anyway, but that's her character. You always think, what's wrong with her? And my voice is going away. Okay, it's back. All right, let's move on from that. We will have an after show for Game of Thrones, by the way.
Yes.
We didn't do it last Sunday because of WrestleMania.
I know.
It was quite intense, and we were all sad about the streak.
So look out for that.
Yeah.
Dating.
All right, so let's talk about dating. You know what? We forgot about something, but let's do this one first. So dating is... we have a question of the week, and it's, would you Google someone you're dating? So I heard on the radio today someone talking about how annoyed they get when you're not Facebook friends with somebody, but that person Googled you. So they find out and know what you're up to. So the next time you hang out with that person, they're like, oh, how was the beach? And you're like, how the fuck did you know about me going to the beach? Or, oh, so what movies? Oh, you like DC and stuff? It's like, how the fuck do you know I like DC? We're not even Facebook friends, and then we're just like on our first or second date. How do you know so much about me? So the question is, would you Google someone you're dating, and do you think it's okay? Anne.
Well, I cannot date, but I am married. Yes, I think it's okay. I think it's okay because one, that's the time that we live in now. Everything, information is at your fingertips and easily accessible. If you are that nervous about people learning more about you, then stay off the internet because the information is going to be there in some way, shape, or form. Employers are doing it all the time as you're applying for jobs, looking into your background. So sure, if I was dating, I might to some extent if the guy is completely like, so talk to your mom, you know, kind of like, I know where you live. Like if it gets to that level of detail, then yes, I might be a little creeped out, but I think it's okay. I mean, I think people even Google themselves every once in a while. So
don't ever Google yourself.
It's bizarre what you'll find about yourself.
Yeah, you're like, oh, fuck.
But I mean, what do you think? What would you think if somebody, it sounds like maybe you've had an experience.
I haven't had an experience. I'm pretty sure that whoever I'm dating at the time has Googled me because it is the time. And you shouldn't get butthurt. You should be flattered. They care about you enough to know a little more about yourself. You're putting yourself out there the moment you're on Facebook, the moment you're on Twitter, the moment you're on Instagram. You are exposed. Even if it says this user is private, they're gonna find a way to know a little bit more about you. That is the time that we're going through. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Now, if you're at their house throwing eggs at their doorstep or something, that's kind of creepy and stalkery.
Yeah.
And you know, if you're dating, there's dating websites. So isn't that the same thing essentially as Googling? You're just putting yourself out there. Essentially people are going to grab the things that you have put out there. So it just comes with the times. So
and it happens to us even. Like we won't talk one evening, but the next day I'll ask her, oh, Kaori, I saw something you posted on Instagram. How was it? You know, you went to a Yelp event or something. Yeah. How was it? And she didn't tell me she went, but the internet did. So,
and I was like,
are you like,
stalker?
It's freaking creepy,
girl. Like,
stop asking me about that.
This Anne, man, she's like on my Instagram every 10 minutes.
How are you?
Liking all of my pictures.
I saw you have this picture of Cesaro.
Where'd you get it?
But do you want to go back to the TV news?
Oh yeah, let's go back to the TV news because this is one of my favorite shows ever. Was Last Comic Standing. I know that I'm one of the few that love that show so much. It disappeared. I
always wondered what happened to it.
It was such a good show. I love comedy. I actually want to learn how to do stand-up comedy, so I've been looking around. So if you guys know of any good stand-up classes in LA, let me know.
You could do stand-up here once a week. We could have a Kaori tries her stand-up.
Could I get on my soapbox?
Yes.
It would be a very racist stand-up. I know that, and that's a problem.
I guess maybe you could just, I don't know. You can talk about Filipino people. I'm Filipino. I won't be offended.
Get your tomatoes ready.
But yeah, I was wondering about this show too because I too love the show. I followed it, and it's like 4 seasons, and then all of a sudden it was gone.
Yeah, it was gone, and now they're coming back. It's revamped. The new twist is the viewers aren't the ones that are voting in. The judges are the ones that are going to judge the people that are going to go through. And some of the cool new judges, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think so.
Cool.
Roseanne Barr's in it as a judge, and so is Keenan Ivory Wayans and some other people. They're big people, but those are the two big ones that I thought. And that's pretty neat.
That's awesome.
I think that's good that they're having judges make them go forward. You know? And it's not a popularity contest.
Because I remember when Doug Benson competed, he was out like, he didn't even make the top 5 or something. I think that guy is so funny.
I agree. And I was surprised that Amy Schumer made it that far. Sorry, Amy Schumer.
Yeah.
Who also dated Dolph Ziggler, which is hilarious.
That's bizarre.
She dated Dolph Ziggler, and she has said that one of the reasons why they broke up was because having sex with him was too athletic. He was too athletic.
There's a joke in there somewhere. I just can't. I'm not fast today to figure it out.
I'm just trying to imagine Dolph Ziggler. What's athletic sex? Like did he like jump her up and down
like this?
Bionic seahorse or something. I don't know.
Oh man,
Dolph Ziggler, man. I always think of that when I see him wrestle. Like, he must be really athletic in bed. Okay, so. Now, let's move on to some video game news. We had Nintendo Direct released. Nintendo Direct's April. Oh my God. Nintendo Directs came out yesterday or Monday. And the big thing was Super Smash Brother news. People have been waiting for this for a very long time. Some huge highlights. Mega Man's going to be in there. There is going to be some 3DS exclusive as well. And I can't find the rest of my stuff. But... oh, here it is. It revealed how Yoshi's going to return as well. There's 2 playable Pokemons. Ooh. And there's transformations that are removed as well. And yeah, it should be fun. And also Seamus. I forgot his name.
Seamus. Seamus is in the game. That's awesome.
We're like totally WWE'd out right now. But Metroid, I forgot her name. That's her name. Her real name's like Samus or something.
Maybe it is Seamus. No,
I don't think it. No, not pasty enough.
Looks really cool though.
It looks really cool.
You have to tell me how it is.
No, you're gonna combine play it when it comes out, or you're gonna get 3DS and play it with me. Okay. So
deal.
That was a big one there, and I'm excited that Mega Man's in there as well. And Wolf Among Us came out today for iOS. It came out yesterday for other outlets, so I'm going to be playing and I'll let you know how it is next week. Sweet. And what about you?
Just a real quick piece on the upcoming UFC game put out by EA Sports. They released who their mystery fighter is going to be, and it is none other than Bruce Lee himself, which is really cool. I mean, the expert martial artist in the game. You could put him against I don't know, John Bones Jones, or who else would show up in this game. Maybe even Brock Lesnar's in this version of the game. You could have him fight Bruce Lee. It's pretty cool. I mean, and I know that Bruce Lee's family is excited that he's going to be in this game because it's quite an honor, obviously, but not many games, I don't know any besides the actual Bruce Lee game, have this character in it that you could actually play. So I'm excited to see what kind of moves they give him. I heard that you can customize the fighting style too. So if you don't want authentic Bruce Lee, you could give him some MMA moves too, and then have him just go at it. So
everyone loves Bruce Lee. Everyone loves Bruce Lee. So this is a really good move on
all of those fighters should have been inspired by Bruce Lee.
Absolutely.
So now they can fight him in the game. And it's coming out June 17th this year.
Boom. Alrighty. Okay, so I went to a Yelp event on Monday, as Ann stalkerously said a couple topics ago. It was called the Yappy Hour. And it was amazing because there's all these different dogs, and you had 6 different beers to try and a phone call. And you also had lots of different gourmet hot dogs, which was delicious, and some gelato. So it was a really, really fun event. Wakame met her counterpart and a lot of other dogs.
Did you get any swag?
I did get swag. Thank you
Nice.
for reminding me. Now with the days of social media, for each you get either a ball, treat, water bowl, collapsible water bowl. If you like them on Instagram, like them on Twitter, tweet them, or like them on Facebook. So I had to do all of those things. So if you saw me tweeting about it, it's because I needed some stuff for Wakame.
Oh, are you sure Wakame wasn't tweeting herself? I think those things are super cool. I hope she's using them.
Yeah, she is, and it's funny because there's all these different colored tennis balls. And I'm like, she likes the pink one.
I just noticed that too. I'm like, you would pick pink.
It's the funniest thing because Anne hates pink,
Yes.
and I'm like, what? Well, I guess me and you will never have a problem.
She's wearing pink.
I know, I love pink.
Ugh.
You're wearing a dark pink.
This is blood red, okay?
But yeah, so I guess that might be your topic next week is I hate pink. Today on Haterade, I hate pink. Okay.
Never. All right.
So we are going to talk about some comic book news. I grew up loving Archie Andrews, Betty Cooper, and Veronica Lodge. And Archie Andrews is going to die in July of this year. They are going to reveal how he dies. Now, doesn't mean that's the end of the comic books. No, it's just that in this particular storyline, Life with Archie, they're finally going to show him passing away. That's a really big deal because he's been around since 1940s. So he's pretty old right now. I'm really shocked.
Yeah.
It'd be good, but
Thank you to the people who have created this comic book because it's always a bold step when you're okay with killing your character.
main character.
And like Corey said, it's nice because life goes on because they still have the comics that focus on Archie in high school. They will have comics that focus on life after Archie, which I think is also really genius. I mean, you don't get that in every comic. This is a big step for them, and it sounds
absolutely.
like that this was planned. This is intentional. It's not like they got bored of the character. This was always the plan to bring him to this point. And I like the fact that they're going to focus on, his friends. They're going to focus on his loves after his death. But you still get to have the live Archie leading up to this point in time. So I commend them so much for that. Like I was reading an article with the creators of Archie and, just them talking through their thought process and how much they've been looking forward to this moment. And it's going to be, emotional for the fans, especially people like you have been reading forever.
Archies, yeah.
But it just, and then it'll probably draw in some new people who have never even heard of the comic book. So it's really exciting.
Yeah, and if you haven't heard about Archie's, go read it. It's obviously not a superhero comic book by any means, but it's like Saved by the Bell comic book version in a way. You've got your Jesse Spano, which is actually Betty Cooper.
Yeah.
And you've got Kelly Kapowski, which is Veronica Lodge, except rich as shit, and then you've got Zach Morris, Archie. It's just such a good comic, and I just loved it. And it's going to be interesting to watch him go. I'm not sad about it. I think it's a smart move on their end.
No, it's almost like a celebration of his life and where they've come through all these years.
Absolutely.
And take away, take a break from those Batman, those Superman, those I don't know whatever else you're reading with all these superheroes and supervillains and stuff, and read a comic about a real person.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you'll be touched more because you can relate to this character more than you could to a Superman or a Batman.
Yeah. Well said, Anne.
Oh,
Thanks.
you're welcome.
But let's talk about someone that we would love to touch.
And we hope will never get killed off in a comic.
Don't ever. ZAC EFRON. And I have lost my train of thought because I looked at that picture. But ZAC EFRON, as well as Seth Rogen, as well as Rose Byrne, has released a new trailer for Neighbors, and it is hilarious. Do not watch it at work if you've got your supervisor next to you.
I made that mistake. Like, hide, click, hide, turn down the sound.
So funny. There's a scene that really made me laugh was, I don't know, should I say?
Yeah, it's with the
towards the end.
I'm like trying to do an imitation.
Yeah. Towards the end, ZAC EFRON stuffs a dildo in Seth Rogen's face, and after that, they were like talking about how gross it is. Just so funny. I can't wait. I already know I'm going to buy this thing on DVD.
Yeah, we're already there.
Know.
We're already there.
I'm just like, I'm waiting for John Campea to be like, do you want this extra poster I have of ZAC EFRON? Yes, please. I will cut off Seth Rogen and just put it on my wall.
I didn't even realize, like, my other favorite guy, Dave Franco, is in this movie, too.
He is in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that whole little thing about Sam Jackson, that joke that they had in this new trailer, had me cracking up so much.
So funny.
Guys, check it out. It's really, really good.
And remember, tweet ZAC EFRON, let him know TM Asian wants him. All different angles. Anytime. Yeah, and that about completes our wrap up this week. We are actually doing it a day early because we are going to Vegas to celebrate Ann's birthday. Woo. We're going to go to a barcade and go crazy. I'm trying to tell her that we can cosplay, but I don't know.
It is a barcade. I mean, I don't think they'd be weirded out if we were wearing our cosplay costumes.
But we might just have to wear Peplum or something.
Damn it.
So anyways, in the meantime, guys, we want you to follow us. So follow us and follow us and follow us. Let us know if there's anything you want to share that happened this week or throughout the week. And in the meantime, Ann, where can everyone find you?
You could follow me at Ann Campea on the various internet sites. You can tell me what I was doing yesterday if you are Googling me.
That's true. You
what
can.
About you?
They probably are Googling you. You can find me, Kaorious, at Kaorious. You can find the crew, the 2-woman crew at Team Amazing. And you can keep watching our videos here at Movie Blog TV. Check them out. Check the videos. And we will catch you guys next week. So have fun, be safe, and merry. Catch you later.